Blessings. Welcome to today's Law Enforcement Daily Devotional. Today we're in Deuteronomy chapters 22 through 25. And today is a lot of laws, a lot of regulations that God gives for the Israelites. And we've seen through a lot of these rules and regulations that they weren't just rules so that we would have rules, or not we, they. But a lot of the times God would put these rules in place and the Israelites wouldn't even realize that it is for their health and safety that God was doing these things. Circumcision on the 8th day prevents infection. And even though we don't follow the rules of circumcision today, like the Jews, the Hebrews did, or the Jews, and the Hebrews did, we still practice it on the 8th day because for health benefits, health reasons. Most doctors will suggest you get your child circumcised, and the 8th day is the perfect day to do that on. Well, of course, God knew that. The regulations for mildew and how to treat that, how to treat infections, God did these for very specific reasons. He's not some God in heaven who just wants to throw rules out there so he can catch us breaking them. He does these things for our benefit, and we should appreciate the laws and the rules. Chapter 22 verse 1, God's people had an obligation to look out for their neighbors, to look out for their neighbor's property. And this is just one of the laws and one of the things that we're going to see in these next couple of verses. But if you found your neighbor's coat, you were to pick it up and return it to him. If you couldn't return it to him, you're supposed to hang on to it until you had an opportunity to return it to him. If his donkey fell in a ditch or was down, you were to help it up and return the donkey. I think today in law enforcement we'd call that a motorist assist. You know, there's a car broke down on the side of the road with a flat tire. You know, you stop and help. You get found property all the time. We take things for safekeeping. These are things that law enforcement officers do that are described in Deuteronomy, and it's really cool. As we continue to read, we see the rules about God and his order of things. When God created the earth, he had a plan laid out, and he had a specific way he wants things done. And when we try and make our own path, if we say, well, God wants us to go east, and it says in his word we're supposed to go east, but you know what, I'm gonna go west just because I want to, that is rebellion. It always has been, and it always will be. So when you read something in here that is contrary and opposite of the way God intended things to be, know that it is rebellion and it is sin, plain and simple. Chapter 22 verse 26, we see that rape is mentioned, and rape was punishable by stoning, which was the same punishment given to murder. So God takes that very serious, the way we treat women. I like the fact that it is so devastating and so violent that God says, nope, somebody's guilty of that, you stone them, just like you would a murderer. Chapter 23 verse 19, God tells the Israelites to take care of their own. If you lend to somebody, don't charge interest. Do it to help them out. Don't do it to make money for yourself. You know, don't do it out of selfish ambition. Taking care of your own, I think today in law enforcement we call that professional courtesy, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's spelled out right here. Chapter 23 verse 23, keep your promises. Be a man or a woman of your word, especially if you make a promise to God. I know this is Old Testament, but you know, God is sovereign. He is holy, and we shouldn't take that lightly. Verse 24, chapter 13, treat people with compassion. This is God's mandate. Treat people with love. Treat them with kindness. These are the things that please God. This is how God expects us to treat other people, because we are all his children. Even if you've got somebody who hasn't come to Christ yet, they're still God's child, and he still wants you to treat them with love and kindness. Great takeaways today. Tomorrow, expect more of the same. We're in Deuteronomy 26 through 28. So read ahead, come back here, and let's look for a law enforcement takeaway tomorrow. In the meantime, you guys be safe.